help. Mute button.
Unmute. Okay, there you go. Hello. That still kind of freaks me out a little. I don't want to do it. Anyways, welcome everybody. I think we are streaming on both on Dave Johnson's page and also on my page. So if you're seeing that, welcome both sides. Let's take a deep breath, right? Yes. And did you see the blood moon last night by chance?
I did. I actually had a bunch of friends over in my backyard, and we watched it. And they're kind of new friends, so it was really fun because one of them is kind of on the witchy Wiccan side, and she did some great singing to the moon, and it was really, really, really amazing. Did you get great skies in Australia? If the sky is bigger, the moon is bigger. Go figure.
Wow, good.
But it's huge. It's huge. The moon is like this big in front of us. So yeah, I put my crystals out. Yeah, it's great that we're looking at the same moon, Sheila.
That is true. Yes. I did too. I got one really good picture. When you go in and like spread it in and get really close to it, it's kind of blurry, but when you pull it out, you can tell it's like a red moon. It was really, really pretty. And then Lori from Way of Positive Change. I don't know if you know her or met her before. Have you? Yeah. She was like up early, and she actually sent us a picture of the eclipse. Danny and I, the eclipse via text message. So that was pretty fantastic.
And we watched that happen. I've never seen eclipse before, but I watched that happen. And it was really, really spectacular. And kind of a little bit frenetic.
Oh, yes. Well, I didn't get up early enough to see the eclipse, but I did get up. I was at 4:30 in the morning this morning, and I'm out, like the goofball I am. Click, 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 click.
Yeah, good for you. I would never get up at 4:30. All I had to do was stay up till 11.
There you go. There you go. So you just didn't have to go to bed. All right. So if anybody, I'll introduce Dave Johnson. If you don't know who that is, please go check him out. He has a couple actually YouTube channels, and I'll let him talk about that. But go ahead and give us a little synopsis of what you do, how to get a hold of you, and what do you offer on your channel.
Sure. Moonride.com.au. AU is for Australia because that's where I live. That is my website, and you can also look at my channel, which is Moonride. There's other channels like Pyramid 4, and I've not posted so much on those channels, but they have somewhat different information. It's more trance channeling and past life regressions, which are things that I do. I also do just regular psychic stuff. And a lot of the videos that people watch are that, because we all know at this time, everybody is trying to find some way to control this crazy, frenetic energy that's going on. Everybody is looking for like an anchor, including me. So that's why I make those videos. It's just because I want to know what's going to happen. So I feel like I have some control over what's going to happen. So yeah, those are the things I do. It's very wonderful to exist in this time in some ways, because we are compelled to push ourselves into a new sensibility, a new intuition.
Yeah, exactly. I have grown more, through all of this spiritually, mentally, emotionally than I've ever have, the fastest I've ever have in my life. Yes. So there's that. I have to give that a credit that where it is due. So, I want to know too, because I don't necessarily have a love partner, but you have a love partner. How is he handling it with you? Because I'm pretty sure, we can get on screen, we can get on YouTube, and we, you just see what we present to you, and that's the honest to God's truth. But when you're falling apart quietly, how does your partner handle that?
Well, I think there have been a long time of sort of working through this for myself, right? I've had a life where I've done a lot of different things and dealt with a lot of pretty stressful situations. So, step by step, I have learned to deal with them. And I would say that the most important thing for us is that I'm very open about it. He is wonderful in the sense that he lets me talk about these things. He's not necessarily at all interested in this kind of stuff. He does, read things like philosophy and Buddhism and stuff like that. He's not entirely scientific, but on that side. So, a lot of times we just talk about these things as socio-political events, and we're pretty much on the same page of what's going on here. We have he's from India, and India is also having this conservative, sort of backlash, if you will. And so we sometimes have to deal with the same things, just trying to, I really believe this is a story between those people who are dealing with the truth, the reality of what's going on, and those people who are just choosing a conspiracy theory. And they are, if I believe it, then it's true kind of people. So, all of us are in that space and have been for 10 years. And I think all of us are pretty exhausted by it. And I also think all of us are here for this time. We are the people who can do it, right? And not that it's fun.
Yes.
This is a pivotal time. And being here on the earth and carrying the light against this shadowy stuff is really challenging. But I would say that in some ways we signed up for this because our souls are ready to learn it. And I would say that's true for myself.
I agree with you there. And it sounds like you probably comfort him more than he comforts you. That's what kind of I thought when I asked that question and kind of got this information. I said, well, it's because you are the, how can I say that without sounding horrible? Between the both of you, I think you do a lot more spiritual work. Is that what better to say? Okay, I don't want to offend.
Yeah. I have to contradict you though and say I am a lot more triggered. I will get really upset about this stuff, and he's actually way calmer, right? And there's a certain. It might seem like that, Sheila, and I think I'm really helpful for others. But then when it comes to soothing me, I find that often I am like, Dave, take your own advice. Stop watching videos and escaping. Every client reminds me, Dave, you give great advice to others. You have a little issues following it. India is much more a place where it's like, this is the wheel of life. You're born as a peasant, you live as a peasant, there's meaning in that, and then you go to your next lifetime, right? Good luck trying to find a seatbelt in a car in India. Because they're just like, well, you come, you go, man. And there's safety. Which freaks me out as like American control freak. I'm like, oh my God, you should see me trying to find seatbelts in every taxi there because I can't stand it, So there's a different sensibility, and I think there is a sensibility in some places in the world that, hey, there's always injustice, there's always these crazy things going on. In some respects, he is more fearful of China because, that's on the border of India. And I didn't know this. They constantly have skirmishes. We don't report on it, but they constantly have people killed, both sides, I think. So he's very worried sometimes about this. And for those of us who live in Australia, the thing that's most worrisome about this is if the United States is distracted with these wars, if we are doing this or doing, denying the equity files and fooling around, well, what's going to stop China from invading, Taiwan? There is nothing to stop them. There's no ethical reasons that they should stop them compared to the United States. So then what happens for us who live in Australia? And I think that we, Australian people are very easygoing, but it's making us nervous. It's making me nervous. It's like, wow, what would I do in this situation? The Australians, if no one else does it, might be compelled to stop the invasion of Taiwan because it's close to us. So it's a frenetic time. It doesn't matter where you live.
Yeah, because all of a sudden the whole world is unstable right now. That's the
It's
thing. That's
totally
kind of the census, like, okay, the whole world is unstable right now because nobody knows what the next move is or who's going to be mad at who and stuff like that. But before we can really get started, Sharon Sipe is in the chat, and she is a fantastic moderator. And any of the other moderators that are in the chat, if you ever have a question on what's going on, or if you want to get caught up, like you just popped in, or something, you had to leave and come back in, they will always catch you up what the question is. You can ask them what's the question, who are they talking about. So definitely communicate with the moderators. That's what they're there for in the video or in the chat. So I just wanted to recognize that as well. Sorry, I had to cough a little bit. All right, Dave.
ready to go.
I literally went through almost a whole month worth of not being able. I was able to do collaborations. For some reason, doing collaborations and bouncing off other psychics' energy and stuff like that, it kept me a little stable. But I had the hardest time. I would start a video and I would start crying. And I'm like, okay, they don't need to see that. So I would just, every video, I probably have a bank of, I would say maybe 15 videos that I can't produce because I'm crying, or I just I get derailed off the subject. I'm like, okay, that's crap, and I was having the hardest time just doing a video all by myself. I finally was able to get it together. I finally passed through that veil. I don't know why what happened, but I was able to produce, a video the other day, and it came out really good, and I felt back to normal. But same with you, like you were just telling me, like it's been difficult for us.
Really hard. I've just been doing once a week. That's all I could manage. I think last week I did 2. I kind of have an emergency. I'm feeling a run last week, 3 days before the actual bombing. I'd made a video. But to all you guys who are feeling this, it's just from our perspective, it's like, oh, I'll make a video tomorrow. Everything changed from yesterday. Like there's like 12 more issues that have come up since 3 days ago, and I'm very worried about those things. So what do I even make a video on today? It's just like I don't even know how to get started. It almost feels like the energy is so shifting and so frenetic that if I were to predict anything, it would almost certainly not be true, because who knows what could happen? Who knows what Trump is going to do tomorrow to distract us from his many issues. So it's just like have a little bit of a feeling we're being played, and it's like here's so much information that you are totally overwhelmed, and I could see why you'd be crying, because it's really upsetting that certain people will go and justify the Epstein files. They'll go on TV and they literally will be Megyn Kelly going, oh no, they were just teenagers. I will not tell you to look at the images that are in there because they are so disturbing that I looked at them for 5 minutes. They are not teenagers. I looked at them for a few minutes, and I'm not joking. I went into my bathroom and I threw up. I am so disgusted by this. And it's just, we're being flooded with so much information, so much disturbing information that this is intentional. It's just at a certain point, you're like, I can't take it anymore. I couldn't look at any pictures anymore. I don't see anybody confronting anybody about the truth, which is they were not young people.
I came to a consensus that we know what they did. I don't need to know the content anymore.
Yep.
I saw my last picture was a little girl standing on the stairs, and you can tell she had her fingers and all that, and she had her underpants down, and they took a picture of that. I'm like, that's my last picture. That is my last content of the Epstein files.
Right.
We know what they did. We know what's going on. I have to just kind of let the universe sort that out, because I cannot. I'm gonna cry again,
God bless. Oh God, I feel so bad for those poor people. I feel so bad, and I would just say to anybody, like, this is the time where you really see what people are made of.
Yeah.
If you're Megan Kelly and you can make excuses for this, if you're, whomever in the media, and you're not asking those questions, I know who you are, right? And I
Yep.
know that I don't trust anything you will ever say ever again. And I don't believe that you're
Never.
a human, right? I think that you have lost your soul. I shouldn't say that. That's too much. Everybody deserves forgiveness at some point if they say they're sorry. But
But we're not in charge of that, thank goodness,
I'm not
because I
charged of
would
that.
never choose a few. You know what I
Yes,
mean?
yes,
I am
yes.
not charged. I don't have the power to give you forgiveness, and I'm not in charge of that because I do not
Fair enough.
have energy.
Yes,
You know what I
fair
mean?
enough. But the I do think that this is something that this is my bottom line. It's like when
Yeah.
someone says something racist, I'm like, no possibility I'm going to be your friend. Just it's not going to happen, right? I'm not even going to spend the time. And I would say to everyone, that's an okay position. And I also would say, don't let them distract you. If you are you just bring up those files. No, no, no. We're not talking about Hillary Clinton. She's not in the files. We're talking about these files. Have you read them?
Oh yeah.
No. Then you don't have it a position. But think of our souls, Sheila, your soul, how this just information is going to affect you. It's just
Well,
vile.
yeah.
It's just
It
vile.
is vile. I mean, it has to be exposed in order for it to go away. That's how it works. That's how a spirituality works. You have to
Yeah,
expose it in order for it to be for the universe to take care of it. That's the truth. We
yeah,
know that it has to get out there. But here's the thing is spiritually, mentally, and emotionally, we know the vessel. We know what's going on. Like everybody that is watching right here, right now, just take that one moment. If you're watching, you're perfectly okay right now. And
mhm,
that's where we have to to just go all the way back to just that one little moment. Everything is okay with you right now.
yes,
And I've had to do that and I've had to reset that quite often. Like everything in my
yes,
home is safe. My
yeah,
children are safe.
good job.
My grandchildren are safe. My dogs are safe. You know what I mean? I just
Yes,
had to keep that little thing. And we know the vessel. We know it has to be exposed. Racism, all of this stuff that's going on in the Epstein files, all the lies, everything has to come out in order
yes.
for it to go
Go away.
away.
You're right. That's absolutely right. And let's face it, this is a challenge. How can you hold the light even in this situation?
Right.
We're talking about really heavy stuff, and a lot of challengers don't want to talk about that. I don't blame them because they want to stay here in the highest light and the highest stuff and everything. So, how can we do this at the same time addressing the realities? In one sense, I think that this is a challenge. It's like the universe has said, can you still stay in the light even though this is
Yes.
disturbing? Can you still be a kind person? Can you still be peaceful? And I have to say, on a positive note, I have seen that, you know, God love those people in Minneapolis and elsewhere. Trump goaded them. He did all these things. ICE did all this stuff, and they were totally peaceful. No one can show me one really at all aggressive or even beyond assertive action that anybody has taken against these people who are, breaking the law every day. Though there are silver linings, and I don't want to deny the reality, but there are some silver linings, and I have to tell myself that before I go to bed at night, or I won't sleep. And I mean, I'm really working on this.
Poetic
So
poetic justice. Poetic justice is what I hold on to. Poetic justice. It doesn't mean
yes.
that they're going to end up in prison, but poetic justice is a beautiful thing.
Mhm.
Okay, so let's kind of get a little bit back on track. I just wanted to kind of go over that a little bit, get a little bit. We have some good questions. I did outsource some questions from my subscribers today. Let me find the list. Let me go back over to my posts. Let's see. I had a lot of I mean, there's like 48 of them. I know we're not going to be able to get through all of them, but a lot of people really want to know about Hegseth because
Wow, good.
that crazy alcoholic Have you ever had an alcoholic in your life? Like an
Yes.
active alcoholic? So, okay. So an active alcoholic, there's a few things that come with active alcoholism. Number one, you got an ego that's out of control. Number two, you're making bad decisions on a daily basis. Your ethics are in the toilet. And then what's the best thing that they do? They fake it, right? They know
Yep.
how to fake it. They know how to talk the talk. They know how to get up and do all of that. So we're dealing with this toxic active alcoholic. Now, alcoholics who have gotten help and who have been back in AA, and they kind of reset their moral compass and have a few years away from the drink, tend to have get back on track with life and who they are. But an active one is, right?
Well,
So go ahead. Go ahead. I'll let you
I was
talk
just
about
going to
that.
say part of it is denial. If you can deny that you
Yes.
are addicted to this, you can deny anything. But sorry, what was your question?
Yes, if you exactly. He's in denial of his own problem. He can't even and he can't fix his alcoholism without divine intervention, and I truly believe that of his own divine intervention.
Yes.
Um because it's a real hard thing to get over. There's no way I'm sitting here going alcoholism is you just decide one day to quit
Yes.
drinking. It really takes a lot. There's no doubt. However, an active alcoholic is really, really bad. You know what I mean? There's just no trust for them. So what we would like for you to do is kind of go in and take a look at him. He's
Sure.
in charge of all of this BS that's going on in the war, or is he not? Is somebody, you know what I mean? Like, is he
Yeah.
really making these drunkard decisions about our own defense? And yeah, go for it.
I'll just say, like, the initial image is no, you know what it's like to be in a girls' locker room. I'll tell you what it's like to be in a boys' locker room. There are certain, like, aggressive talk dog, sort of towel whipping guys, and that's the first image that I get with him. It's a power thing. Uh, so Pete Hexeth. My initial is with him is actually he's quite confused. It's like he's looking in both directions at the same time, and he doesn't. Which this. I mean, my first feeling about him is he has no idea what he's doing, and there's a sort of a cartoon version of a leader that he has in his mind that he tries to do. Oh, look at me doing push-ups. It's a cartoon, and I think on some level he does realize this. So show me more about Pete. Okay, he's knocking back some martinis. It's just again somebody who's in denial of there's something, perhaps something in his childhood that was very upsetting that he's always repressing. And I'm seeing him as a kid with a very aggressive father who's violent and frightening. It's just the same as Trump's father. Uh, there's a certain kind of person that is who they are because of fear of their dad, and that's him. It's just fear, fear motivates him to, play sports and succeed. And there's almost like a terror that he would not win the game because dad will be really angry at him. It's just in some ways, a sad mentality. I don't have sympathy for him for what he does. But I have to say, as I'm looking here, I'm like, oh, well, it explains him. Can you tell me more about, when he's doing these things like bombing Iran, he's still trying to prove something to dad. He wants to prove that he's a man, prove that he's masculine, that he really has no idea what he's doing. He's sitting in a control room and he's like, what are all these buttons do? And again, we're at a sort of, buttons and learning, that's for egghead guys. I just act, like a real man, like a cowboy. And that's not really the person we want in the head of deciding whether we go to World War III or not. Tell me more. Okay, here we are in this control room. Aha. It's like a video game for him. He's so removed from the truth that it's like a video game. He didn't think about the consequences. And I think we have a society of a lot of men, especially, who just live in a video game world. They don't have consequences. They can blow up anything. So, Hegseth, if you got anything else to say, okay. I'm going to leave it to anybody to interpret what this is. He hands me a red rose, and as he hands it to me, it dies. Something's really not going to work out for him, and can't come soon enough as far as I'm concerned. Yeah. What do you think it means?
Well, rose is love, and when the rose dies, that means love lost, loveless.
Great.
His soul is maybe his soul. His life is without love. That's not for us to fix. That's for somebody else to fix.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of, oh, wow. You know, there was something I was reading at one point in time that is a dictator's move, is to make sure that when he puts people in, that they don't know what they're doing. And the reason why that is because that means it leaves it up to just one person to make the decisions.
Yep. Bingo. Right. And when they screw up, you can always blame them.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They take the fall, correct? Yep. But there's only one person making those decisions when they're incompetent like that.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, anyways, yeah, I don't think that he's in charge. Well, there's somebody in charge, and maybe it's Marco Rubio who has been in the middle of all of this, because he's definitely in the middle of all of the negotiations and everything. So maybe Marco Rubio has taken over a little bit about that. All right, so here's one here. It says, if the war continues, will NATO countries join the U.S. in bombing Iran, and how will the people of those countries feel? So that is been a question with everybody. Like, are we still in NATO, or is NATO going to, support us, or is NATO going to walk away? Like, where's the politics in that?
Yeah. Well, I got to tell you that, like, even as you're saying the question, I got a big no. They're not going to do that. And as I'm sitting there, like, Norway comes up, I think Norway's under some pressure because I think it's the Epstein files. Maybe somebody in the royal family is in the files. I can't remember, but Norway shows up first, and they've got political pressure on them from the people. And the people of none of those countries, none of them are going to want to go to war with Iran. Not one single one. Most of them didn't do it with the Second Iraq War, right? Except for Spain and Britain. And let's take a look at those. Spain, are you guys going to? No way. And I mean, I'm seeing a large body of people protesting and saying no. Here's a couple of leaders. And they're getting shouted at, like, no way, no way, no way. And these leaders, Spanish, look at me and they say, there's no political benefit to us to do this. And we find it distasteful. They don't want to do it. They don't like the idea. And it'd be political suicide. Let's take a look at Britain. It's like they got their own issues. They got to deal with all of their own crazy stuff that's going on in Britain right now. I mean, are they really going to be able to afford to fight Iran? They cannot afford it. So let's see, who's the Starmer showing up. It's like, I got my hands full with the Epstein files, man. I'm not touching that one. And, as a collective body, they are empowered by saying no. Right? If one said yes.
Yeah, but Britain has torpedo, or what is it called? Oh my gosh, my brain just went dead. The ammunition or the torpedoes or whatever, ground torpedo, or maybe they're from the I think they're ground torpedo, that they can literally reach far away. Britain is about the only ones that really have these long range torpedo. Yeah. I'm saying torpedo, but that's underwater. There's another word for it, and I can't think of it right now. Missile. There we go. They have long range missiles. Britain does that. most people don't know about. So if Britain gets involved, they literally can get into Iran or Israel or wherever they want to go.
Mhm. I feel like in Britain, if this would empower the extreme right, right? If the extreme right in Britain, and they're all protesting against immigrants, they're, I mean the extreme right, not the average person, but they are protesting in this particular sort of conservative. Um, there's a bit of that going on in Australia too, and in some ways, this is where Starmer can go in front of the people and say, "I'm not those guys."
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So he is able to make a distinction. And it's really interesting like that the moral compass has shifted to Starmer or Macron, they're
Yeah.
the ones you kind of trust more to be fair. But as I'm seeing Starmer, I was just asking, so Starmer, you gonna go do this? He just goes, "Oh, no way." Among
Because
other things, they're just worried about what will happen to their own country. There were
yeah.
terrorist attacks in Europe, and he's worried about this. Does that mean anything more? Starmer's writing something. What are you writing? There's some kind of like almost like manifesto that it seems that he's writing that states this position. And again, I'm actually a little bit optimistic because I feel like he is going to say, almost like a moral leader, here is what's really going on. And he's going to be perceived as being reasonably neutral. That is, he's not a wacky person from any direction. And I'm not saying that anybody is, but that's his
well,
perception of
Trump
this.
is.
I have to walk, yeah, I have to walk the moral, I have to walk the middle line. And, it's really difficult for these countries. I have a lot of friends in Hungary, and they're like, look, we're stuck between Russia and the United States. We gotta be friends with both. There's only a few million of us.
Yeah.
We don't have the power to just, go have a war, an army and stuff. And it's just Britain. It's just, he's showing me, like, we got two coins to rub against each other, and that's it.
Right.
I'm trying to save the healthcare system. I
All right.
can't.
So, yep. So
Yeah.
instead of piecemealing this whole war thing altogether, you're like going to this country and that country and what do they think and stuff like that. Um, let's take an overall big picture. My feeling about this whole thing from the get-go, we're going to go into the war. I do feel long term. I don't know why. As
Mm,
long as the Republicans are in charge, we're going to be in a war. We're going to
yeah.
do all we can. I mean, and of course, we're never going to get the thing. But my other thing, and I want you to look at this, and maybe I'm a little off kilter, but I think Israel is going to take a lot of damage.
Yeah.
Israel is not the upstanding, people that they wanted everybody to think of anymore.
Right.
I do think that the world is turning on
Uh-huh.
Israel.
Yeah. Oh,
But
it's
I want
certain.
you to kind of get to see what the Spirit has to say about this whole. Let's take the big picture of the whole thing, and then we'll kind of move on to some more other political things. But let's kind
Sure.
of take a big picture of it and see what you
Sure.
see.
And, I'm sure you agree with this. I just want to make really, really clear that my issue is not with the people of Israel. And I don't
No,
believe even they support this. I think they
correct.
just have their own, Bibi is their Donald Trump. Right. And so my issue is with the extremist in the political positions that they are. Israeli people were born where they were born, and they would say, "Look,
Correct.
that's where I'm born. I am Israeli. I didn't choose that, right?"
Correct.
But these people who are leading are, most Jewish people I know do not support this. So there is definitely a distinction. But let's see. So, Spirit, how when will this end?
Yeah.
I do want to make clear again, I feel a little optimistic. This is part of a shift, and we are in the thick of it right now. We can't see this, but there is part of a shift that's going on. The poisons are coming out. I actually, we're all expecting this sort of shift in the actual nature of consciousness, and this will occur. It's almost like when that truly occurs, when it's embodied in a specific way, this will end. So I do want to tell everyone, we are being manipulated by the hype of the media. To some degree, it's making it worse than it seems. Most Americans don't support this war, but let's take a look. Like, when's it going to end? Okay, I'm looking at the Congress, and there are two bodies of Congress, and they're fighting, right? They're battling. So which one's Republican? Okay, this side is red, the right side in my video, right? And then the left side is left. I think you're right, Sheila. I think that this will continue until the next election. But again, here is the bright lining. I think this will cost the Republicans even more seats. That is, that it'll be an even bigger shift to the other side. Then change is starting to be possible. So, and a large section of Republicans seem to leave, and they are replaced by really 25%. That's how much I feel like Republicans are losing, and a lot of it has to do with this particular issue. So, Spirit, is that this is going to end when? Asking a different way. It's going to end when Americans are fed up. We all are entertained by this battle on the media. Arguing is a new pastime, or watching arguments is a new pastime. People are just getting fed up. They're like, I'm sick of all this. I'm sick of all this. It's no longer entertaining me anymore. It's now stressing me out. There are many other factors that are going to feed into this next election, but one of them is just an absolute state of, I can't stand this chaos anymore. So I, with many people, don't think that Trump is going to live out this season. And I know that's another question we're going to ask. So, and then who's going to be in charge of this? JD Vance. Who knows how long he'll last? But it looks like somewhat, to some degree, the Republicans anticipate this, and they're not particularly dedicated. They're not going to go against, the conservative agenda here, but they're not really very enthusiastic about it because it means they'll lose power. So it might be that this continues. And you also, but it's mitigated to some degree by lack of enthusiasm. You also asked about Israel. I'm seeing Israel. I'm seeing little places light up. And three places in particular seem to really light up. Now, I'm just kind of looking at like the regular person in Israel. Confused and afraid. And when I say confused, they're not entirely in the right, they're not entirely with the government here. They're not in opposition to the government, but they are a bit ambiguous about this. Now they're worried. They're worried about sending their kid to school, right? I mean, that's a difficult place.
Yeah. As you were talking, I kept on getting, I don't know. This is the weirdest things. Weird things come to me. Number one, remember we were talking last time where we kind of predicted maybe that Donald Trump was going to leave this earth at a certain time. Well, of course he stayed. I'm sure out of spite he stayed.
Yeah.
But maybe to look at that whole situation, there's got to be something to it, or the cards wouldn't have told me a certain time or a date or something like that. Maybe his health got worse. Who knows? Okay, first thing, let's get my thoughts together. Number one, The fact that they will not talk about Trump's health must be because it's really, really bad. Let's think
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah.
If it was nothing big, they would be announcing it in full disclosure. They wouldn't really give a care. His
Yeah.
hand, his hand, his a rash on his neck, his
Yeah.
cankles. He hasn't played golf. I haven't seen anybody post anything about him playing golf. This man played golf all the time. I don't think he can do much of that anymore.
Yeah.
So there's that. So I just wanted to know the fact that they are not saying nothing is an indicator that it's really bad. And there's
Yeah.
a lot of doctors that are out there diagnosing him without seeing. They're just saying what they see and stuff like that. They truly believe they have a month to maybe 3 months in the land of the living is what they call it.
Yeah.
So anyways, there's that. I just wanted to kind of give that over there. But also Israel. I don't know why, but I'm connecting BB, what's his face, with Trump, of course, but it's almost like they leave at the same time or close together.
Yes. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Do you get that too? Because I just felt that as you were talking. I'm like, they're gonna go together.
No question. I have no question in my mind, and this is not intuitive, just by observation, that one of the things they did was they did this during Biden's administration intentionally because they knew, Biden wouldn't really fail to support them, but it would cause political problems for Biden and would ensure that Trump won. So I do believe they coordinated that. I think it was overt coordination, and I think that this happened with Russia too. I think its actions were in coordination. That's just my personal belief. It's not something I necessarily intuited, but I think all y'all, we can look at this and say, yeah, what a coincidence. All these things happened during Biden, not during anybody else. So yeah, let's just take a look at these two. It's and funny because Netanyahu has just quite a good deal of contempt for Trump. He just thinks he's a knucklehead and he's just easily manipulated. You just have to tell him he looks good and he will do anything you want. That's Netanyahu. Yeah, look, these guys have pulled off a real coup. They're all over. Some people have looked at the Epstein files and looked at the financials, and there's this stuff is really intense and distracting. But if you look at the financials, it's pretty obvious what's going on here. This is about power and certain people having control over the United States. They controlled those people and essentially blackmailed them. And some of it's very subtle blackmail. Here I lend $850,000 to a princess, right? Just the fact that they lent the money and they borrowed the money puts them in a really uncomfortable position because that's a form of blackmail. You can say, you took money from me, I'm going to make it public, you better do what I want. That was really what's brought here, and it is coming to light, but I didn't see anything else from him. Netanyahu. It's like this power trip. It's just power. It's like he couldn't care less. He's there lighting a cigar. You idiot. I won.
Yeah. To us, when we say it's power and it's money, we are not connected to power. We're not connected to money. So when we say it just sounds so trivial, and can it really just come down to that? But when you are a person who wants power and wants money, it's a totally different life that they lead. And when you chase that addiction, you will do anything and everything to keep a hold of it, just like an alcoholic and drinking. It's the same actions.
That's true. Right.
All right. So here's it. We're going to shift a little bit to the Republicans. So most of the podcasters here in the United States have now just twisted off against Trump and the administration.
Yes.
Not all of them, but most of them. You should hear Marjorie Taylor Greene. I'm agreeing with her more than I have ever. I'm like, I can't. And then who was it? Tillis. I think it's Tom Tillis in the
Yeah,
Senate just reamed Nome, Kristi Nome in the Senate about her actions and all of that. I'm going, how did what? You know what I mean? Is this
right.
are we at the breaking point? So here's what I want to. It's like not no Republicans or stuff like that because we got some that are stuck. There's no doubt about that. But do you see the dam? Do you see the crack? Is it a canyon coming?
Wow.
What do you feel? What do you think? And what do you see?
Well, just yeah, I mean, I just want to note like people like Dave Smith, and I really don't like him. He's a total, libertarian Trump guy. Even he came out and said I was wrong, right? So, when I saw that, I'm like, how much of this is just opportunism? If you're that out there guy, there's no
True.
one to do video about. If you're just Trump supporting this, it's not going to really give you clicks. It's not controversial. Let's just see though. Is this a yeah? I am literally seeing it as this crack in a dam, and it's just it's just too slow for us, but it's very slowly cracking. Okay, I often see Collins just because I used to think that at least she was a reasonable character, perhaps. But I often see her when I'm looking at Republicans, maybe because she is supposed to be moderate. But as I'm looking at her, she's showing me, look, we spend half our time checking out statistics. We spend half our time finding out what people are thinking. She's just looking at this huge board of statistics and information. And then she's just like, this is really bad. I don't know how to get out of this, right? I don't know how to come through with any political power to left. Very worried about her own position and her constituents. Yeah, she didn't want to talk to them. So what are you going to do? She looks at me and she says, I don't know. This is a political quandary for them. They do not know what to do. And they may
Yeah.
now you notice all of those people in the House of Representatives, except one, every Republican voted to open the files.
Yep.
Why? They all knew Trump didn't want to do it. They never do go against Trump, but this time they did. And that makes me think that was their subtle way of opposing Trump without opposing Trump, right? That way they could get, more libertarians in there. Susan, what are you going to do? You tell me.
And see, I have a different theory about that. Remind me after you're done.
Sure. Susan Collins is smoking a cigarette. And whenever I see that, I always think bad habits. She's got, this is a bad habit. Like I'm addicted. And she stomps it out.
She's
It's almost
losing.
like she goes into hiding. It's almost like she just leaves and just checks out. What were you going to ask? Say.
Well, no, I was talking about how the reason why I've kind of that was one of my videos that I, are in the queue if I couldn't get through because I was crying. One of the videos that I had done, and I kind of did a little bit of a remote view about why did all of them except for one, of course, the guy down in Texas, he needs to, somebody needs to go look at his Google searches. Said yes, and they passed it on. And what I got was that Pam Bondi assured them that they'll handle it from there.
Yeah.
So like, just do it. We will take the reins. We'll handle it from there. And that was when the whole game of holding it on, letting, a little bit out, the game played out with Pam Bondi and the DOJ. And all of the senators were reassured, just don't worry about it. Just say yes, get this over with. Maybe they'll stop talking about it and just hand it over, the process over to us.
True. Right. I think that that's pretty accurate. Also note that there were 4 key people in the Senate, and if they hadn't voted to open the files, it wouldn't have happened. And it's like, again, people we don't like. I think Boebert, MTG, who is that wacky lady?
Massey.
Massey.
Yeah.
I can see her face, but I don't remember her
Boebert?
name. Anyway,
oh, I know who you're talking about. The one that walked away crying, walked
That's
down the
it.
hall crying. What's her
That's
face?
it.
Yeah, I can't think of her
Right.
name right now, but yeah,
So
I need to.
they were not on the same page. And I almost think that those people who let them open was like, this is a win-win. At least
Nancy Mace. That's what it is. Yeah.
that's nice. At least it'll be there. At least, it'll be DOJ's problem, not mine.
Correct.
Right.
Exactly. That was, and
Yeah.
that's what I got. That was the information I got. They don't care if the Epstein files go or they stay or they go away or they just didn't care. But the DOJ just reassured them, just get it off of your plate, just get it off of your plate, and let's go.
Mhm.
It didn't stop them. It pretty much put a fire underneath the Epstein files. But anyways, I have a lot of questions about the military here.
Sure.
I've got several questions here, so I'm just gonna kind of lump it into one.
Yeah.
So, explain. Do you know the difference between a lawful order and an unlawful order?
Yes.
So, can you briefly explain that, and then go look in there and see what our military's the temperature of the military and what they're thinking
Very good
is?
question. That's a really interesting question. So first of all, just for lawful versus unlawful, unlawful would be against the Constitution. Lawful would be constitutional. I would suggest that every ICE arrest is unlawful because they are not given due process. So here's to the heroes who are preventing those arrests. But let's take a look at what the military is doing. It's kind of okay. Here's some white light. Then it goes into sort of changes things. So I feel a little optimistic. Keep in mind they've gotten rid of all the sensible people, but those sensible people who are outside the military in some sense, they still have power. That I think they're doing some stuff behind the scenes. What are you guys doing? Show me again. The dynamic of power within the military, it keeps changing. It's like shift, 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 shift. It's not consistent. And I don't think this is good news for the Trump administration. I think that the people within the military's opinion keeps changing, and it's okay. Now I'm seeing people getting ready to send their kids off to the military. They've signed up, and their kids have signed up, and they're crying like, "Oh my God, I don't know what's going to happen to them." I mean, here are the moms, the moms of these soldiers. The moms of these soldiers are like, what are we doing this for? They have completely lost my support. The government are not sending my kid to Iran. No way am I going to be supporting that. This is the life and death of their child. It's not abstract. And there's the husbands, the fathers of these soldiers getting angry, actually. Yeah, I do think that this war, this situation that we're in, is a catalyst that people will not support it. I don't think the average person or even the military will support it. These are Trump's base people, right? And they're cynical about it. So what are they going to do? All right. So what are you guys going to do? They're not going to tell you what they're thinking, first of all. They are required to keep it to themselves.
That is true.
And, but internally, they are at best conflicted. And really to the point of considering maybe I won't go. Like if I'm really asked, I might not do it. I could even imagine that there would be a body of military people who will say, who will refuse. Are you guys going to refuse? I don't know if they will refuse or not, but I do feel like it's a dilemma. They are undecided in this regard.
Yeah, Can you read the comment here? I don't know if this is true. I haven't verified this, that the guys on the military ships were
Oh, they
upset
plug the
about it.
toilets. Yeah.
Oh,
Hmm.
going to war, and that they plugged the toilets on the ships by flushing the church. I don't know if that's true or not. Um, but I somebody somebody kind of brought to my attention the other day is these soldiers that are right now going to be going to war. Their fathers have already been there,
Yes.
right? So
Yeah.
this is the second generation that are
Hmm.
going over. It's almost like, didn't we already do this? Didn't we
Yeah.
already go over to Kuwait and Iran and Iraq? And I mean,
Mhm.
we've already done the desert. Why do we have to go back? But this is the Republicans go to start a war place, right?
And I feel like it's the
And
moms. I keep seeing the mothers, and they're
well, of
just
course
like,
the mothers are upset.
well, they're like, I'm not doing this again. I was told
Yes.
this. I did this the first time. I supported that, despite the fact that I was ambiguous feelings. But my men have a duty.
Yes.
My children have a duty. Women have a duty, and so they're gonna go. But I don't like it. Well, this time I'm getting that. I'm getting that they're not happy. Right. That this time around they're like, I don't. I did that once, and look how it turned out. Right. So
Yeah, so that's the thing is, I mean, I lost my husband due to all of that.
yeah.
Um that. So it's not it's fresh that we lost so many soldiers, and then Trump had the audacity to go, yeah, we're going to lose some more. I mean, the tally has already started, right? I think we're up to 4 soldiers right now.
Yeah.
Probably more. But, the tally has started, and he's like, it's just a part of it.
Yeah.
Nope,
Big deal.
it's just a part of it.
Well, you
And
don't
he
see.
doesn't know. Sin
He doesn't.
Baron.
He doesn't ever show any empathy. I mean, can you ever, whether he's in there,
Never.
behind the files, has he ever showed any empathy for the survivors of that?
6. We're up to 6 now, as everybody
Yeah,
says.
he's never. I keep waiting for the reporter to ask him about empathy because I think that he doesn't have any, and that's a question that will stump him. Will somebody please say, how do you comfort these people who have lost their family members? What do you say to the moms? Because we know he didn't call them, right? So
It's just
it's
awful. I mean, the fact, have you ever looked into what the families go through when their soldier, mom,
no,
dad, whoever's in the military heads off to war? Number one, they don't get contact with them. They don't get to text them every day. They don't get to call them. The reason why is that they lock down that information because what they do not want to do is have any soldier telling some spouse at home where they're at, and then all of a sudden all the whole platoon's in trouble because now the enemy has now intersected that information. So there's no call, there's no that. You call them every so often when you stand in line to use the phone or whatever to contact your loved ones. In the meantime, the parents, the spouses, the children, they all sit around wondering if their soldier is alive or not.
right.
This is what
Wow.
they sit at home and do, and it's like we did not have to be in Iran. This is just another, you can hear my and my passion around it. It just upsets me to no end that they did this again to us
Yeah. Well, and
for no reason.
I can see your passion, Sheila, because yeah, you lost someone in that, and I'm really sorry that that happened to you, and I feel very sorry for a lot of people that lost people. So empathy to you, Sheila, and to all of you
Yes.
who have been in these
Yes,
positions,
all of us.
because you don't have the power. You can't stop it, at least on the abstract sense. I I really believe that these events are about people like you, many of them women, coming and saying, I am taking, this is nuts. I'm taking my power. I'm not giving it up anymore. I'm not going to just support the nation because I'm political and blah, blah, blah. I think this goes beyond party. I think that every Republican loves their kids just as much as Democrats love their kids, and they
Sure,
don't want,
exactly. I
like,
agree.
Could they even find Iran in a like how? What does Iran have to do with my daily life? And it's again, which is the same story as Iraq. Oh, they have weapons of mass destruction. Well, yeah.
Again, here we are
Since
again, right?
since we just bombed them, you can understand why. I don't think this is going to play out very well politically. I don't think that
No,
first of all, now there rallies in support of the Iranian government, right? That been attacked, and who wants a foreign power to tell them what to do? So um, it's subtle. I think it takes a long time for women to really go, forget forget
enough.
since I am done. Women
Yeah,
are always trying to work it out, or they have a tendency more than men. And I'm maybe we should say divine feminine, because I think there are men like that. We're always trying to be
right.
peaceful and work it out and find a compromise and do what moms do with kids, right? Find a compromise. I don't think that
Right.
this
Can
is.
you imagine? Yeah. Every parent right now are sitting at home going, "Oh my God."
Mhm. And even the not parents, I can even get the people who are Republicans who watch Fox going,
Yeah.
what are we doing? What's the
Yeah.
goal? Didn't we just do this? Trump said he wouldn't. He sat down the Nobel Peace Prize a month ago because he
Yeah.
got us out of these wars, supposedly.
Yeah.
So people voted for him because of that. It's incredible to me that they would be foolish, but
Well, because they didn't listen to us. That's the whole thing is
that's right.
they only listen to him and they refuse to listen to us and tell what we're telling him because you know why? Because Trump says don't listen to them. They're bad people. And yet
Well,
here we are.
it's
Yeah.
incredible. This is what it's like to be in a cult. And I
Yes.
never believed that Americans could all submit to such a cult, but they have. And I guess this is a time in our history where we have to work with cultists.
Yes. I do want to kind of I have to bring my emotions down a little. So I'm going to uh, talk about the chat. We are up to 2,137 people here with us. So that's awesome. And that's probably both on both platforms. We're receiving the viewers, and we want to appreciate each and every one of you because every time you also comment in the chat, you are also joining our conversation. And I tell you what, I have that Gemini mind. I am on Dave and I am on the chat because I do read.
I can't multitask like you.
Right. So I'm just letting you guys know that I see your comments as you're coming up and as you're posting them. So they are very important. And I appreciate the chat that's going on in there because we all need to talk about this. We all need to get it out. We all need to talk about our own experiences on that aspect. So here's one here. It says I work for a major airline. This is from Debbie. 5317 is who it is. I work for a major airline, and I would like to know if air travel will be safe, and will there be any retaliation against any European countries or she didn't put American in there, but any European countries. And what about travel alone? I remember when the war started way back when, they shut down travel. I remember, maybe not exact, but I remember something about nobody leave the United States kind of a thing. Do you remember that?
I don't remember
Or is that
that.
just my imagination and what I think happened?
Yeah, yeah. Well, first
Because
of
it
all,
didn't happen this time. Yeah. Go ahead.
I do see a triangle of space where, don't travel there, right? That might just not be available. And so I think it would be, obviously around the Middle East, but I wouldn't go there. But I think there's a sort of space where people will not be allowed to travel. Um, I have to be honest, I don't get a good feeling about traveling. I'm not sure I would do
Same,
it.
Dave.
I just,
Same.
something's
I'm
wrong.
glad you said that because
Yeah.
I I keep on telling people too that are wanting to come to the United States. I'm like, don't go, don't come to the United States. We cannot guarantee your safety. For number one, we can't even guarantee that you'll ever get to go home, or, that you'll ever be able to come in if you have, you know what I mean? If they find
Yeah.
out that you have done something wrong in another country and you show up here, we
Hmm.
can't guarantee your safety. Don't
Yeah.
come. That's what I
Yeah.
say.
Mhm.
I feel the same way about going out of the United States because I am a Democrat, because I do have a YouTube, because I'm
Yeah.
not famous, but I'm known. What
Yes.
if trying to get back in, they won't allow me? And I'm
Yeah.
an American citizen. I feel that. I'm like, I'm not leaving my country because I'm not sure they'll let me back in. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
I feel that part. And also, just airlines themselves. I'm like, it just feels like our air travel is compromised right now, and I don't know why. I feel
Something's
that way.
something's not right, and I keep seeing just something not right.
Yeah,
Like it feels unpleasant. I don't think this will last forever, but or necessarily a long time. But I don't like it. I don't like the idea of traveling. I don't know where this is, but I see big trouble. I see people
yes.
waiting, but I think it's worse than that. I mean, to be honest, it feels a little bit like 9/11. Like I don't like it. It just and I would never say that. I would
Same.
never say that, except that that's just what I'm seeing. Don't travel now extensively. If you can, go by car. If that's you know the way. It just too risky. Like you're traveling, go to nature, right? Go to
Yeah.
natural places. Yeah.
I don't put the fear in anybody, but I have to also be honest about my own intuition and my own gut right now. I
Mm.
would not get on a plane right now. I would never send any of my children on a plane right now, and
Yeah.
especially my grandchildren. That's just how I'm feeling right now.
Yeah.
So I can only imagine what's really going on, because of course, what do we feel? We always protect ourselves first. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm not, y'all do what you need to do, but my family's not going nowhere on a plane.
Right.
I
And
will drive. I don't care.
I can't locate this to a specific place on the planet.
Me neither.
I don't know what's going to happen or where. And I hate to say, everyone just be careful, but we don't know what's going to happen. And be careful. I would just say be very careful. If you're traveling, you already bought your tickets, you're probably okay to go. But I would be paying very close attention to things as you do that. And I would not take any unnecessary travel. And I'm not doing that. I'm not traveling.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's that. Let's see, what else do we got here? I have the travel information. A lot of people are kind of wanting to know what was in Ivanka's was she really buried on the golf course?
Ah,
Ivana, not Ivanka, Ivana. You know, there's a lot. We've already kind of covered a lot about that with her casket and stuff like that. I remember one remote view I did, and I literally sat down in the casket, right where the thing that was out there, and I looked around to see what was there, and all I could see was gold bars.
uh,
So
well, that's quite funny. I do see her face, and it's a very sad face, right?
I bet you she knew something.
I think that woman went through more than we know. Now
Mm-hmm.
she she did stay married to that man, but
Or
I
she
don't think
had
it worked,
to.
yeah, I don't think it worked out very well for her.
No.
Ultimately, I'm not sure she is happy about that choice.
Yeah, the rumor is that she was cremated. So then, but they also put this great big old huge casket on the golf course, and he saves money if it's a grave site. Then he doesn't have to pay taxes. We all know he's a little scam artist. Okay,
Right.
we're gonna shift to white nationalists.
Hmm.
What is it called? It's the religion. What is it called? Is it white nationalists?
Mm.
I feel like I'm saying it wrong.
White
You know what I'm
nationalists?
talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, but MTG said it differently.
Uh huh.
Oh gosh. I'm so sorry, guys. I lost
No
my
way,
place.
no worries.
But
Take your time.
hey, oh, I have it. Christian nationalists. That's
Okay.
the reason why I'm thinking that it's wrong. We're calling it that's Christian nationalists. Okay.
Okay.
Yes,
Right.
the kite people. So entertainment purposes only.
Yeah, it's very surprising
Okay.
that these people would call themselves Christians. It's like, I don't remember
Well,
Jesus doing nationalist stuff. I think that was Judas that you guys are thinking of, not Jesus, right?
yeah, America wasn't even involved in the Bible.
Right. Yeah.
I'm like,
what do you want to know about the Christian nationalists?
okay, so have you ever done a remote or a channeling on Christian nationalists?
No.
So that's good because I kind of want to know just a blanket what do I need to know about the Christian nationalists as a warning for other people, or kind of spin it in a question, but maybe a blanket, just go in and see what spirit has to say about it, because I do that a lot. I'm like, a Christian nationalist,
Okay.
just show me what you got, you know what I mean?
Okay, let's take a look at Christian nationalists. I gotta say, the first feeling I feel is sadness, and I don't think that's me. There's some element of sadness among these people, and it's like I keep thinking, what are they? From their perspective, I'm missing something. It's like an innate sense of, I truly believe that some of these people have experienced something like Christ, whether you believe that's a real physical person or it's a state of love. At some point, their heart did fill perhaps with this experience with the true Christ. Again, whether he was embodied or not, that feeling was for a moment real, but it's almost like now it's a distant memory. None of the aspects of this really are. It's almost like they've been convinced, and they're sort of realizing that it was a hoax. It's not like the feeling that they had. I think that it's in some ways wonderful that people are at least waking up and saying, this, Christ was not aggressive. He didn't bomb people. This isn't his message. There are some people, it feels like, who are, almost peeling off because it's so distasteful, that these people are pretending to be Christians. So, okay, a woman, again, we have another dead flower. She's looking at a dead flower. Oh, this is the mother of someone who has died. This is a mom of a soldier who has buried her kid, and she is so distraught and angry. It's like, this is not what you promised. This is not Christian. And it's like a total, like I was fooled. They fooled me, and now my child is dead, and I'm not going to forget this. So again, this seems to be a little bit more on the side of women, but it's not excluding men. There are fathers too who, whatever we could say about their politics, they loved their child, and it's almost like this is the only thing that could move them off the dial. This is the only thing that could change their mind. Is there anything else about? I'm seeing like the puppet masters. These are the people sort of in charge, right? And they're the ones that are, moving the marionettes around to make it look like they are Christians. And these are honestly kind of sociopathic people. They don't care about the consequences. Christianity is a weapon. So they're moving them around, but they're starting to fail. Like the marionette string's starting to get tangled, right? So, one thing about denial, You can maintain denial until reality hits. You can maintain denial until COVID hits and you have a crisis, right? You can't live in fantasies forever. People
Yeah.
think they can. It's like, pretending like children, but it's not going to last forever. This is a serious clash in society where people are going to suffer and die. There's not going to be in endless tolerance, even from the dedicated.
Agreed. Agreed. As you were talking tonight, for some reason, I'm getting a lot of information while you're
Okay.
talking.
Okay.
So the Christian nationalists, um, they have what was it? The image that I got was that they created the touting of the whiteness, right? It's white
Right.
people and all that. But they don't want to look that way.
Yes.
Therefore, they have this person over here, this person over here. We have to have it, it's like a diversity of whiteness is what they're using. And that's like the picture, kind of a picture that I got. Okay, so with all of that said, but you cannot keep control over hurt
Mhm.
parents, hurt spouses, hurt
Uh-huh.
children. So that's what they've been trying to avoid the whole time, is keeping them into the fold. But as long as nobody gets hurt, they don't get hurt, right? We'll protect you. You're white. We'll protect
Right.
you. You're white. But
Mhm.
now that control is gone.
Right. And if your kid's in ICE, he's looking at prosecution, and they're
Yeah.
they're having trouble getting the money that they were promised. Right. One thing Lena Rodriguez has pointed out is, if this flips, if the MAGAs go against the MAGA, then they are the most dangerous characters, right? They're the ones who are going to be really enraged that they have been cheated. So I think that is actually in process of happening. There are going to be some
Correct.
people who are never going to change their mind. There's going to be some people who are like, this was not worth the price of my child, right? I was fooled for a while, but I can't pretend my child is still alive, right?
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
there is an edge, and I think it will also happen as in economics. How much inflation are we going to be facing now that we're at war with Iran? Um,
Well,
you know,
the gas prices, what are they like? Goop Trump, you not believe how many Republicans hang their hat on the cheap gas prices. They don't
right,
care what goes on. Epstein this, Epstein
right,
that, so and so this. So I have got to be able to get $20 in my gas tank.
right.
Now that gas is going up, they don't even have that anymore.
Well, and the cost of your insurance, your food. I did
Everything.
saw a woman on a conservative channel, and I think it was like C-SPAN or something. The speaker, and this woman's calling up and talking about how difficult her life is right now. It will bring you to tears, like how little food she is able to buy, the cost of her insurance, and
Correct. It's
the woman let her speak for some time. It was like a Charles Dickens story, how this woman had just given everything up just so that she could pay for her food. And these people aren't going to be able to afford their insurance next month. And April 15th, I was looking at somebody's talk about how much taxes are going to go up for people who make $19,000 a year. It's like 30%. I mean, they won't be able to pay it.
It's ridiculous. Yeah.
It's
So we're like an hour or 20 minutes after, so I know that I usually stop at about an hour. So, but you're absolutely right. And here's the thing. Um Somebody just posted on here, Susan Lynn said that once MAGA gets pissed off, once MAGA goes against all of them, all we have to do is step aside and just allow them to go after, because they're
yes,
the maddest, right?
yes.
They're the most angry.
Okay, guys, now it's your
Y'all
turn.
do it. Exactly. We'll have to just sit back and relax for a little bit and let MAGA
Yeah,
take care of MAGA.
yeah.
Wouldn't
You
that
know,
be wouldn't that be a gift to all of us?
yes, and I can appreciate what she has said because one thing I do want to, we're all freaking out and really feeling stress and a lot of empathy for the people who have had this happen, and we're feeling very out of control. Don't hesitate to take a little time to say, these are the good things in my life, and these are the things that we can make better together. There is a silver lining here. We're having this conversation, viewers are having this conversation, people are able to stand up, people are able to connect, people have been peaceful in this work. There are more people working in the light now than there were
Yes.
before the crisis. It's helpful to see the positives of what's going on, and I think that it's absolutely necessary. Don't let the media itself take over and create extensive
Right.
worry. Stop it. Go outside. Look at the beauty because there is beauty there. I do also feel like this is going to pass. It does feel like some of these things are just necessary to shift things. It's got to be
I
bad
know.
for some people. It's unfortunate, but in some sense, maybe this is the only way that we can really have a new world.
I know. I say it too, this we're almost there. We're almost at the end, and we all
Mhm.
knew that it was going to get worse before it ever got better. And I used to sit there and go, I think we're at the worst, and then Trump does something else, so I can't
Yeah,
say that anymore. But
yeah, yeah,
because I keep on thinking that's got to be the end. That's got to be the lowest that he'll go, and then he'll get lower.
right,
But
right.
but they don't have any farther. They truly don't have much farther to go.
Oh, I don't know how you can get lower than child abuse, but
Me neither. Or
yeah,
murder for one.
yeah.
Entertainment purposes only. But I'm starting to believe that the man that they put in charge of the United States is not only a pedo, he's
Mm,
also a murderer, he's also a trafficker, he is also, everything that we do not ever want in a human being, especially as a leader, is sitting in that office.
mhm,
And you know
mhm.
what? The Republicans and the MAGA, we're not letting them off the hook. There's some women on TikTok and all that. They get on there and they're crying. And it's like, I left MAGA, but where's the compassion from the Democrats? I'm like, you lost that a long time ago, three
Yeah,
votes back.
yeah, yeah. And
It's over.
you have every right to be angry at those people.
Exactly.
Um, I think we will eventually welcome that back in the fold. I think that if you want forgiveness, you do have to tell us, how you got there, and truly wish for forgiveness. I think you have to ask, right? I'm not just going to give it to you. I will say, we should have compassion for all people. All of us have made similar mistakes. Perhaps these people were childish, but let's also just, I really want to share, light with you, Sheila. You've experienced
Right.
loss, and light for all of you. We are going through a lot. We can do it together. Don't forget, we can do it together. This is learning, and ultimately, we will be stronger if we stick to our principles and follow the light.
That's true. And I'm not going to interfere in their lesson.
Yeah, it's not us the
One
press.
way or another, I will not interfere in their lesson, what
Yeah.
they're going through.
Mhm.
And I hope what they're going through spreads through their community, like the
Yes,
change spreads through their community.
I feel like
And
it will.
yeah, you can't talk to us. You better talk to the people.
Uh-huh.
You better turn around and look at those people and start talking to
Mhm.
them. Stop talking to us because
Yes,
we told you. You
yes,
know what I mean? The only thing you're gonna get from us is we told you so.
right,
Right?
right,
So,
yes.
anyways, thank you everyone for being here. Thank you everyone for joining the conversation. You are important. I promise you, you are important to the energy and to the light and everything that we are contributing and moving forward with. You know, the thing about it is I'm young enough that I know that he's going, you know, I get to see him die. That's sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry. But
yeah,
I'll tell you, that's what I hold on to some days is I'm young enough to
yes, yes. Light and love to everybody. I do meditate on this every
exactly.
morning, and I know all you do too. Just light to
Yeah.
everyone. That's the way that we're gonna get through this.
Yes. Alrighty, everyone. Bye.